The topic: free the world from the clutches of terrorism. Many of us, we think that terrorism is something that only when a person goes and implants a bomb, and that's when it is called as terrorism. In reality, there are many varieties of terrorism. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, the word terror means to inflict fear, panic, shock on an innocent person. When you inflict terror on an innocent person, he becomes a terrorist. And according to the Oxford English Dictionary, the word terrorist means bomber, assassin, killer, and varieties of these. If you look into our world, there are someone called as Dr. Terrorist. Have you heard of Dr. Terrorist? I'm not talking about you, doctor. I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about most of the good doctors. You know, every single day, 3,000 female fetuses are being killed after coming to be known that they are females. And that's happening in India every single day. According to the definition, these doctors are terrorists. Who is going to talk about this thing? But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about this great injustice in the Quran, in Surah Bani Israel. On that day, Allah would question, why was the female children being killed? What sin did it do? Allahu Akbar. Allah is talking about it. Whether the world is talking about it or not, Allah is talking about this terrorism also. There are varieties of terrorism. Today, innocent Muslims are being caught just on suspicion. Just on suspicion. Allahu Akbar. They don't have any proofs. They don't have any evidence, but still they are being caught. Why? He's sporting a beard. Just because he's following the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he's been caught. Just for practicing the religion Islam, he's being caught. Who is the one who is a terrorist here? The one who is a terrorist is the police terrorist. I don't feel shy to talk about it because my country gives me the right to express the freedom of expression according to the government law. I should not feel shy. There are some people, they are just snatching the Muslims just because they are sporting the beards without proofs. We say, if he has got proof, catch him and punish him. But not innocence. For this, Allah is talking about this injustice in the Quran, in Surah Al-Hujurat, chapter number 49, verse number 6. Do not have suspicions. Do not spy one another. Without proof, don't catch. Once again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Baqarah, chapter number 2, verse number 111. Provide your proofs if you are truthful. So if you are truthful, kul hat burhanukum in kuntum sadiqin. If you are truthful, provide your proofs. Without the proofs, don't catch any innocent, be it Muslim or non-Muslim. He is a human being first. Don't we have to raise a voice against this kind of injustice, this kind of terrorism? There are another kind of terrorism. You know, mother-in-law terrorism. Mother-in-law terrorism, you know this? How many such cases happens in our Indian country just because of dowry? Every single day, stove is blasting because the bride is not giving the required dowry. No one is talking about it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about it in the Quran, chapter number 4, verse number 4. You give the woman her bride gift. In Islam, men have to give the gift to the women. We are not supposed to demand. Allah is addressing about this mother-in-law terrorism. It may sound very funny. Why is that I'm talking about mother-in-law, and why is that I'm talking about policemen, and why is that I'm talking about the other things? What I'm trying to get at is shun terrorism at every levels is the caption given here in one of the pamphlets. Shun terrorism at every levels. Alhamdulillah, Islam is against every kind of terrorism, not just the one who implants bomb. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, in chapter number 5, verse number 32, killing one innocent is like killing the entire humanity. Saving one innocent is like saving the entire humanity. Alhamdulillah. We as Muslims, we should be following this. We forget some of the other kinds of terrorism where the politician himself becomes a terrorist. He masterminds a genocide. He massacres. And till today, they are coming in the newspapers and in the media as good people. They are not called as the politician terrorist. And you have people invading country and killing innocent people, and they are also not termed as terrorists. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala condemns every kind of terrorism. You know, today the businessman like me, and most of us here, we also fear one terrorist. Who is that? Anybody? Sorry? Sales tax terrorist. You have income tax terrorist. Allahu Akbar. Islam condemns all these kinds of bribes. In an Islamic state, this cannot go on. They will have to cut their hands off. So Islam doesn't talk about only the bombers as terrorists, but it addresses every issues which is relating to terrorism. Nevertheless, Islam is against every kind of terrorism. If a Muslim happens to bomb in Riyadh or one of the Islamic state, the Islamic state would punish him. Because the law of God is that an eye to an eye. If a Muslim, he takes away the eye of another Muslim, then he will be punished there. If a Muslim takes the eye of a non-Muslim, even then he will be punished there. So this is the law of justice. Islamic law is the law of justice. If a Muslim has been proven that he has committed this act of terrorism, in an Islamic state, he will be given capital punishment. He'll be killed. We don't say no for it. If you find a Muslim who happens to be a terrorist and you have the proofs for it, Alhamdulillah, you can punish him in public. We will come and watch it. We are with you. We are with you. We are not going to say anything against you. But here is a problem. Here is a great problem. It's only when a person who commits terrorism, any person who commits a terrorism, it's not known as a terrorist. But when a Muslim is doing this act, he is called as a terrorist, and he is called as an Islamic terrorist. He is called as a Muslim terrorist, rather. Who killed Gandhiji? Who killed Gandhiji? Nathuram Godse. Was it an act of peace? Do we have anything like Hindu terrorist? Who is Hitler? He incinerated 6 million Jews. Do you call him as Christian terrorist? Who is the one who killed Rajiv Gandhi? From the LTT, do you call him as a Tamil terrorist? You call him as terrorist. And if you go into the list of all these things, they are not called as a Christian terrorist, or as a Hindu terrorist, or as a Jewish terrorist. But when it comes to a Muslim, he is a Muslim terrorist. Allahu Akbar. How can they be so unjust? How can they be so unjust? This is totally unacceptable. Call him just as a terrorist. We are with you. Take that Islamic terrorist away. We request you all, media, take that Islamic terrorist away, please. You call him as a terrorist, we are with you.